All right, welcome back to the channel. My name is Coach Jordan Hargrave. Today we're going to start a new series called Why You're Still Stuck in Depersonalization Realization. I'm really excited about it. I've been taking a lot of time to prepare the notes, and so let's go and get this thing rocking and rolling. So the first reason that you're still stuck in depersonalization realization is because you're endlessly searching for the cause of depersonalization realization and you're not able to find it. Understanding the cause of depersonalization realization is directly connected to recovering from depersonalization realization, because how can you recover from it if you don't even know why it's happening? And I know for me, whenever I was suffering with the symptoms, I would spend hours a day on Google, on Reddit, on YouTube, on Facebook, just desperately trying to find somebody that had answers. And everybody appeared to have a different explanation as to why the symptoms were happening. And it made me extremely stressed that I was never going to find out how to recover because I can't even find out why the symptoms were happening. And so here's a YouTube comment that somebody posted that I think reflects this. He said, or she said, I've been stuck in this exact cycle for months, Googling nonstop, bouncing between Reddit and YouTube, trying to figure out why depersonalization realization are happening. The more I search, the worse it gets. I'm convinced myself that it's brain damage, psychosis, or that I'll be stuck like this forever. Every cure I find leads to more confusion. I just want to feel real again. This video hit hard. So this is a very common experience for people who are suffering with depersonalization realization, as they're caught in this endless pursuit of trying to find somebody that has answers. And here are three consequences to that if you're searching for why the symptoms are happening but you don't ever find it. Number one, you're wasting all your time searching for what's causing your symptoms instead of actually recovering from your symptoms, right? So to give an example, a couple years ago I started to deal with something called reactive hypoglycemia. And I didn't know that that's what it was at first. It's essentially whenever you're eating too many carbohydrates and your blood sugars spike really high and then they start to drop rapidly. And because they're dropping so rapidly, your body triggers an adrenaline response as well as growth hormone to help stabilize your blood sugars. Well, this was causing massive energy spikes. I felt like I could run 20 miles and I just couldn't get rid of this energy. It led to sleep issues. It led to so many problems, also crashes. So I'd have a huge energy spike followed by a crash. And I would check my blood sugar and it was fine. And the reason why that I didn't catch it is because in order to catch reactive hypoglycemia, you actually have to check your blood sugars about 45 minutes to an hour after you eat, because that's whenever you're going to see that spike. If you check it any other time, it may be within baseline, and that's what was happening with me. And so because I didn't think it was a blood sugar issue, I was spending thousands of dollars on all kinds of things trying to figure out what was going on, trying to fix it. And I wasted a year of my life being miserable, spending thousands of dollars only to not actually have any answers. But I finally just kept putting things together and I realized that it might have been a blood sugar issue. So I actually started to wear a continual glucose monitor and I started to see these massive spikes. And I was like, okay. Then I hired a doctor. His name's Dr. Justin, and he's one of the best nutritionist doctors out there. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're dealing with reactive hypoglycemia. And I fixed my diet. It took about 10 months of eating healthy. I did the paleo diet, but I basically fully reversed it for the most part. But that's a lot like what's happening with depersonalization realization. And it's really sad. And there are people that go their entire lives and never figure out the root cause, and thus they can't recover. Not because they can't, as in, it's not possible. But again, if you don't even know why the symptoms are happening, you're not going to find a recovery path that's congruent with the root issue. Now, I hear what you're saying, Jordan. Are you going to tell us why the symptoms are happening? Yes, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. For sure. That's the whole purpose of this series, is to help you identify the things that are wasting your time and give you objective, real answers. But number two, you also end up doing a bunch of random positive activities, hoping that one of them will end up helping your symptoms, but none of them give you more than relief. Now, in the process of that, maybe you pick up cold plunging, maybe you start doing sauna, maybe you eat healthier, maybe you get your sleep in order. These things are good. But the problem with that, which I'm going to show you here in just a minute, is They are just that. They are random positive activities. And if we're dealing with depersonalization realization, we're dealing with a very specific issue that requires more than just random positive activities. And so the best that you get is relief. And for some people, it doesn't really do anything. But the next thing is because you can't find the cause, you fear the symptoms will be permanent. Okay. Because the thinking is, well, how can I recover if I don't even know why the symptoms are happening? And what ends up happening is your catastrophic brain comes in, and in the absence of an objective cause of symptoms, your catastrophic brain tells you, well, you might be going crazy, right? And you're losing your mind. What if you have brain damage? What if you're stuck like this? What if the symptoms get worse, right? What if this? What if that? What if that? Which only adds to the overwhelming stress that you're already experiencing. So, with that being said, why are the symptoms happening? Okay. So, the symptoms are happening because your nervous system is overwhelmed. Your body in particular is overwhelmed. Okay. And there's a lot more buildup than you realize, because one of the ways that you have separated from the overwhelm in your body is living in your head all day, right? Think about how much time that you spend living in your head. And this is just you trying to feel better. But while you're up here, as you've been going through painful experiences in life, there's been something created called sensory triggers. And those sensory triggers are actually putting your body into fight or flight response. And usually, what happens is over time, that stress builds up. These sensory triggers just get more and more sensitized, more charged up. And your body eventually gets so stressed out. And then there's something that happens. It could be a bad drug experience. It could be a breakup. It could be, getting fired from work. Sometimes it's not even a big stressor. And you could see it as like a cup of water has been filling up, and then bam, you hit an overwhelm point. That's whenever you go from fight or flight response into the freeze response, which is also a trauma response. And because your nervous system thinks that you're about to be eaten by a lion, your brain is trying to make your death by a lion as numb and painless as possible. Your brain is trying to create some distance between you and your body. That's why you look at your hands and they may not feel like your hands. That's why you look in the mirror. You may feel like you're looking at a stranger. That's why you feel separated from your body, which is depersonalization. But your brain also may choose to separate you in the form of derealization, which is where everything around you starts feeling fake and dreamlike. It feels like there's a wall of glass between you and reality. That's your brain trying to create a buffer between you and the material world. So that way, if you're being eaten by a lion, you're not so overwhelmed by witnessing the scene of a lion eating you. So it's your brain trying to protect you just at the wrong time. Because I assume that you're probably not in any sort of physical danger. You could be. There are people every now and then that I work with that are in like a physically abusive environment, but the vast majority of the people that I work with are not in any danger, yet their nervous system is reacting as if they're in life threatening danger. And their brain, with depersonalization realization, is trying to separate them to mitigate the pain of being eaten by a lion or dying in some way. And that's because, again, you're a good person with a painful history. You've had a lot of painful experiences and you didn't know how to self regulate. You didn't know how to release that buildup. You didn't get co regulation, which was probably the absence of just a safe person in your life to help give you hope, to guide you through very difficult challenges. And also, you didn't have the neuroscience of what was going on. And whenever you don't have the neuroscience of what's going on, this is one reason that people stay stuck in DPDRs, because, again, their brain gives them these catastrophic scenarios. And that just creates more fear, because now the symptoms are connected to the fear of going crazy, the fear of psychosis, and all these things. And so that's why getting the right information is actually really, really important to recover. It's not going to be enough to make you fully recovered, but this is one of the first things that I teach my clients is the neuroscience of how all this happened. Now, what I just described was complex trauma. It's repeated stress and adversity over time, which eventually creates overwhelm in the nervous system. But you also could have gone through a major trauma. Maybe you had a relatively calm history prior to a really, really single, overwhelming event that happened to you, and it overwhelmed your nervous system. And that's why DPDR kicked in. That's very possible. But for most of the people that I work with, you're going to find that, or they find that they've got a relatively painful history, like disproportionately more painful than the average person. Okay. So that is why the symptoms are happening. Okay. Is overwhelm in the nervous system. Now, you may hear that And you may think, well, I don't feel overwhelmed. Well, I didn't say you feel overwhelmed. I said your nervous system is overwhelmed. There's a difference, right? Because especially if you've reached the deepest state of trauma, which is numbness, you can actually feel calm, but yet you're still completely dissociated, right? Depersonalization or derealization or both are still there. Time can feel distorted. Your memory can be thrown off. There's all these ways that your brain is separating you, but yet you feel calm. So don't think whenever I say overwhelmed, I think, or don't think that I'm saying like a panic attack or that you feel emotionally overwhelmed, okay? I'm talking about there is so much stress in your body that it's overwhelmed your nervous system. But technically speaking, what causes you to go from fight or flight to the freeze response is whenever you have a sense that you're trapped and you can't escape. So for me, initially, it was a bad marijuana experience. Now, I had a very painful history before that. And that's part of complex trauma, very painful childhood, and all kinds of things happen. But there was a moment whenever I was high and I felt like I couldn't escape. My heart was pounding out on my chest. I thought I was going to die. And I cried out to my friends to call an ambulance and they wouldn't do it. And it was that moment that I felt like I couldn't escape. That's whenever depersonalization realization kicked in. You could say that depersonalization realization are an escape when there is no escape. It's a way for your brain to separate you from your body or the material world or both whenever you're in a life threatening circumstance. But as we've talked about, you can even just be perceiving threat without there actually being objective threat, and your brain can still deploy these defense mechanisms, which is most likely what's happening with you if you're watching this video. So anyway, in this series, this is just kind of the introduction video. We're going to be looking at what a lot of people think cause depersonalization realization and show why that's not the case. And of course, at the end of every video, I'm going to be talking about what we just talked about, showing you what's really causing the symptoms. Because now that you know that your nervous system is overwhelmed, your body is overwhelmed, now we can start to do things that are specific to that root problem. We know that your body and nervous system are going into a threat response when there is no threat. Okay, that's the root problem. And it's mainly caused by sensory triggers that are around you. You're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling things that are similar to painful past experiences. It's causing your nervous system to get confused and go into fight, flight, freeze response in the present. So if that's the root problem, the solution needs to be congruent with that root problem. And if the root problem is that you're going into a threat response when there is no threat, we need to be doing things that communicate safety to the brain, body, and nervous system. And if you are interested in learning what those things are, I've created a free masterclass for you. There's a link below. It's called the 5 Shifts to Eliminate Depersonalization, Realization, Anxiety, and Panic. Watch that. It will completely change your life and it will get you on track to doing things that are not just a bunch of random positive activities, not things that are going to waste your time, things that will actually rewire your brain, body, and nervous system. Make sure to click like if you're excited about this series. Comment something below. Make sure to subscribe as well so you get notified about the videos in this series. I suspect it'll probably be a 7 to 10 part series. I'm very excited about it. And that is it. And I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you.